Hello and welcome. I am going to give you a tutorial on how to easily make digital art. Now, just so you know, I'm using my mouse, not a tablet or anything like that, and I'm going to show you that it can be quite easy to make digital art. First thing first, I'm going to show you the three software that I'm going to use: GIMP, Inkscape and Paint.net. I've chosen these three because they're all free. Normally I'd use Illustrator or a vector part, but I figure that it's better to go completely free in this way. Now, there's two types of art software. You've got bitmap art software, which like GIMP, Paint.net, Photoshop, Microsoft Paint, which you fill in like pixel by pixel kind of way. And you've got vector art software like Inkscape and Illustrator, which works more like mathematical formulas. Think of bitmap software like Lego and vector software as Play-Doh. Okay? Now, you want to do your line art using vector software like Inkscape, right? Because it can make things look a lot smoother, and I shall show you why. Hold on. Yeah, that's the first time that's happened. Okay, let me show you. I'm going to get a nice long one, and I'm going to draw a stickman. Okay, in Paint.net, which is the software which I'd recommend you use for the later part of this tutorial. As you can see, quite bumpy, whatnot. Now, Inkscape, something which I don't use very often. I'm going to click on this pencil tool and zoom in, and I'm going to draw another stickman in a much thinner line, and I think it's already quite obvious that this stickman is much smoother and looks much nicer than this one. Even if I did this one really zoomed out, it still looks really bumpy. Or if I did it with a much smaller pen, well, that kind of looks a bit better, but doesn't look, still looks kind of bad, doesn't it? And that's the thing about vector software. If it does that to this, then imagine what it do for your whole art. It can make something that looks kind of mediocre look really good. It makes it, vector software gives you a smooth line, smooth images, and it also can be good for editing. Now, when it comes to vector software, smoothing is what type vector you want to use, because if you have it too low, you may as well just use bitmap software, because you'll end up with the same type of bumpiness, as you can see. If you have it too high, then you, as you can see, completely lose control in what you want it to look like. As I said, I don't use Inkscape much, but I've used it. This is like my third time, and I find 50 seems to be a good one to use. Now, what do these other tools do? Well, you don't really need to know, unless of course you're planning on colouring it in with this, but which I wouldn't really recommend unless you're going to become an expert, in which case you'll probably want a different tutorial. I'm here to learn you how to become a good digital artist and do good digital art with next to no skill. This is a good tool right here though, nonetheless, because it allows you to edit the lines, and this is what I mean by it being like Play-Doh. You can just edit and reuse everything. See? Or you can even use it to align things better, as you will soon see. Okay, so you get that idea. Now, I am just going to draw a picture using this. Small, quick one. I think Sonic the Hedgehog should work. Or better yet, Supersonic from the Sonic the comic. Remember, I'm drawing all this using my mouse while I'm laying down in a rather uncomfortable position because I don't have a desk to work with. I am not using a tablet or anything else. Mind you, I suppose most of this is from experience. So it takes time to master a mouse, I'll tell you that much. Okay, just draw his ears. Oh, probably it'll just draw the head to save time. Well, that's clearly gone wrong, that top bit, but it doesn't matter. I'm using escape to deselect things. Now remember, you don't want to colour anything in with this software, because as my sister has found out, it's really quite difficult unless you master it, and even then you can't quite get the credible amount of detail that you may want. Now that is a pretty terrible picture. Obviously, I'd recommend that you increase the line width of this. I'm not quite sure how to do that. There's probably something in this that could do that. But as I said, I don't use Inkscape, I use Illustrator. So, I'm just saying, I'd recommend you increase the line width. And I also recommend that you'd go in and alter the lines to fit in better. Seriously though, if you can figure out how to change the line width, I highly recommend you do that. Go for a nice thick one. Okay, now we need to export it as a bitmap. I've gone to File, Export Bitmap, and you need to find a place to save it. I'm going to save it in this folder and call it, I'll leave it at that, doesn't really matter, does it? And well, I recommend a DPI of 300 or more. You want a nice big DPI. It depends on how thick your line is and how many pixels you've got. That looks a little low, so anyway, let's increase it to 600. Give us something nice to work with there. Yeah, that looks about right. Exported. Escape. Yeah, and don't forget to also save your drawing so then you can go into it. Yay! Hold on. So, now, I think we can see the first mistake I made. I just exported what I had selected, which is which that looks kind of cool, but not what I wanted, isn't it? So I'll delete that, and this is why you always keep your original drawings, not only so we can edit it and whatnot. Now, you're probably wondering why export the pizza. And it's got something to do with... Oh, wait, hold on, I'll double click on that with Illustrator. I don't want it on Illustrator, do I? Well, the truth is, it's because, like I said, it's difficult to colour in with vector software. So, it's better to colour it in with bitmap software because, well, it's kind of easier to colour in. And as I said before, this is about being able to create artwork quickly and easily. Now I would recommend 300 DPI. That explains why it was so low. Say 300 DPI. And spotted. Don't need to save it now. And here it is. As you can see, we've got a full line drawing with mostly smooth lines that we could have edited some more to make look better, but we want to keep this short and simple, don't we? Now, to colour it in, you might be thinking, oh, let's go for yellow and fill it in, and it's, ooh, looks nice. But you may also notice that it looks a bit odd. This is where layers come in. Can get rid of you. Oh. Okay. You see, this is your layers. Right, yeah. It might be anywhere else since I move these all over the place. Create a new layer, move it down. This is going to be a colouring layer, this is going to be your line layer. Now with your line layer selected, select everything. You can press Ctrl then A, or you can go into Edit then select all. Okay, now I want you to cut the magic wand tool. Put the tolerance down to 0. This is how much it'll select. If it's 100%, it'll select the whole picture. If it's a 0, it'll only select the colour which you click. Set the flood mode to global, so when it selects every part of that colour, not just the bits it can get to, and go to subtract. Zoom in and find a nice dark spot. That's complete black. Set it. And put that back to replace, and put that back to contiguous. And what you've just done is you've selected everything and deselected the black line. That's because the rest is partially transparent, and if you click on your layer underneath and then flood in the yellow, you'll find that it's gone underneath the transparent bits, creating a nice anti-aliasing and keeps the quality of a pizza. Very nice indeed, I think. Now, you may also notice that, oh no, we've got some lines that haven't been fully connected, and as such, he's got yellow eyeballs. This is also easily fixed by just finding the error, clicking the pencil tool, not the paintbrush. You want the pencil tool because you want single pixels, and finding the error so then you can plug it in a way. I'm not entirely sure where this error is though. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Here it is. Got that. It's right there. Just colour in about to fill in the gap, and there you go. It won't go beyond it. Simples. You can then colour in the rest of things and be good to go. But as we can see, we've got another thing that needs plugging in. So you click the pencil tool, fill in the hole, and there we go. Now let's get a nice skin looking colour. Should be a better name for that. Oh, right. As you can see, we've got some more holes to plug in. I highly recommend that you actually just make sure all the lines connected inside the actual line drawing. But this is supposed to be a quick tutorial, and as such I didn't go about editing all the lines. I highly recommend you actually edit those lines so then you aren't plugging holes, as I call it. Now the great thing about Paint.net is that you get to choose the left and right mouse button, and as you can see, on the right mouse button I've got right, so I can just fill in right without clicking as much. That's probably why it's called Paint.net, because it's a bit like paint. Black. and then we click on that and select anywhere to deselect it, and look, we've got a pretty decent picture already, haven't we? So now we save it as a PDN, so then we can go in and edit the layers again later, like if we want to change the colours and whatnot. Then we go save as, and we save it as a PNG. Now PNG is very important. It doesn't suffer from any colour loss, and it keeps the transparency. So it's really a good drawing, really good file to save as. We can save it over our original line. Actually, so our PDN file has the other layer. Remember, you want to keep every step of the way. Remember, this is our PDN file, so we can still edit the layers underneath and change the colour or add any other thing. Well, this is our PNG file, which allows us, which we can't really edit like that, because if we did, we'd lose that anti-aliasation thing, which you might notice a bit. It's now gone yellow, as you can see. But at least with this one, we can edit however we like, and it works perfectly. Always keep every step of the way. Well, it makes it easier. Now for GIMP. This is more of something which I've learned over time, because I'm terrible at shading. You're probably much better at shading than me. You get your picture, drag it in, or you can just go file and open it, but that's much easier. Go into fuzzy select tool, magic wand. That is something that I think isn't normally on, that you can just open up by finding history, wherever, or layers or whatever. Oh, anyway, put the threshold to maximum. Turn off select transparent areas, and just select it, and it will select everything that isn't transparent. You will, if it's more than one image on it, you will have to press add to current selection and then click on any other separate images in it, in case they're separated by transparency. Now, go into blend tool, the gradient one. Now, go into mode and overlay. Go into gradient. Scroll down until you find FD transparent. Sorry about that. And reverse it. Now go into shape and choose one of these. I prefer shape to spherical because it creates a nice round look, but you might want angular or dimple. Now, what's this? Instant pillar shading. Now, pillar shading isn't what I normally recommend, but there you go. Perfect. It's all shaded. You can mess about with Optimus C and use normal if you want to get a really 3D look or whatever, and it can be a little. It requires experimentation. Me personally, I use overlay E50. Let me do that again. And then do it. Then I use normal 5, then do it again. Now, we can save it, because that looks pretty damn awesome. And there we go. A finished, good looking picture with only my mouse in only, well, 19 minutes according to my timer. Not bad if I do say so myself. But actually put in some more effort. Spent an hour on this, filling in the lines and moving them, and probably colouring in these things so then they were a different colour, which I think you can actually do in Inkscape. Yep. Then there you go. That's how easy it is to make decent looking digital art. So, to summarise it up, you draw your picture on Inkscape. You try to use a thick line and smoothing, that's around 50. Too low will cause it to be no different from bitmap software, and too high will make it impossible to draw. Oh, cool. I think fill set stroke. There you go. That's how you do it. You have to right click. Okay. Then you export it to a bitmap. Try to go for about 300 dpi. Make sure nothing's selected when you do that, so then you can do it all. You open up your pizza. You select it all. Go and paint magic wand. Puts tolerance to 0. Subtract. Global. Set the black spot. Blackest spot you can find. Put that back to replace. Put that back to contiguous. Create a new layer. Move it underneath. And then you can colour in however you like. Making sure to fill in any holes using the pencil tool, not the paintbrush. Then you save it as a PDN, so then you can keep your layers, and a PNG. So, and then you put in the PNG in GIMP. So then you can easily add shading, which is done through add such a magic wand tool, putting threshold to maximum, taking off transparent areas, select the image, going into gradient, go into mode, overlay, gradient, FD transparent, reverse it, shape to vehicle, and then using it. And there you go. That's how you easily make digital art. Thank you.